Welcome to the Effortless English Show with the world's #1 English teacher, AJ Hogue, where AJ's more than 40 million students worldwide finally learn English once and for all, without the boring textbooks, classrooms, and grammar drills. Here's AJ with a quick piece to help you learn to speak fluent English effortlessly.
I'm AJ Hogue, the author of Effortless English. Learn to speak English like a native. Join my VIP program. You speak English fluently. You speak powerfully. You speak English effortlessly. When you join, when you commit to my VIP program, you commit at effortlessenglishclub.com. Join at effortlessenglishclub.com. Go to effortlessenglishclub.com. Trying to think of a topic for tonight, and I finally thought I'm just going to talk about what I'm thinking about. I'm going to talk about something important to my life right now, something I'm very, very focused on, and that is sleep. The importance of sleep. Let's talk about it. The importance of rest and sleep. I think it's actually a good topic because I don't know, in podcasts, shows, books, everybody talks about motivation and working hard and productivity, like being productive and being successful and active, and all of those things are fine. All of those things are good. But I think what we neglect sometimes, we neglect rest, we neglect sleep. That these are, in fact, very, very, very important things for our mental health, for our physical health, for our happiness, for our energy, etc., on and on. And with sleep, of course, we don't realize. Often you don't realize how important it is until you don't get enough. Not just one night or something like that, but I mean for like weeks and weeks, maybe even months and months. If you get bad sleep and not enough sleep, it really affects you in a bad way. It's very difficult to be productive and successful and disciplined and healthy when your sleep is really bad for a long time. It's very hard. It kind of just gradually, day by day, week by week, month by month, kind of destroys your mental strength and your self-discipline and your energy ability. It really is so important. And then also rest. Just rest is also important. And this is the problem with people who sometimes called type A personalities, but people who just work all the time, working, go, up. People who can't relax. Maybe they're sleeping okay, but when they're awake, they never relax. They can never slow down. This is also a problem because it eventually can lead to burnout. Now, some people can be like this for many months. Some people can do that, in fact, for many years, where they are just, going, working, drinking lots and lots of coffee every day, all day, and just from when they wake up to when they go to bed, they never really relax. But then, a lot of times we know that eventually they pay a price. Eventually. Maybe it's in middle age. Maybe it's after 10 years or 15 years where all that stress and everything, it finally gets them. And they have a heart attack, or they burn out, or they have a big health crisis, something where their body or their mind just burns out, right? Burnout meaning to burn out means you burn all of your energy. So your energy suddenly gone. Like if you have gasoline, right? Imagine like you have gasoline, you're burning gasoline in your body, right, for energy. And then when it's all gone, it burns out. It's gone. And now you've got no energy. And then you feel exhausted. You feel tired. And we can emotionally burn out. We can mentally burn out if we don't get enough rest. If we just go too much, too focused on success, too focused on activity, too focused on work, without the balance of rest and sleep. Rest and sleep. It is very much that yin yang, like Taoism, where they help each other. We need both, right? Of course, too much resting and too much sleeping, you become lazy, fat, slow. You actually lose energy if you sleep too much. If you sit around too much, you actually will lose energy. But of course, the opposite is true. If you go too much, if you don't rest enough, then the same thing happens. You eventually burn out. And, I think a lot of parents understand this. This is, the last 14 months for me, and the last 6 months have been pretty especially difficult. The first month was the worst of my life. Basically got no sleep in 1 month, very little, like an hour at a time, very, very terrible. And then we had things got a little better with us and the babies for a while, but then more lately, the last few months have been kind of hard again, and especially with the babies getting sick. So anyway, my sleep has not been good for over a year. Sometimes a little better, sometimes worse. And yeah, it has affected me, definitely. I realize how important rest and sleep are. And so I guess my message is just don't neglect this. Don't neglect this. Because it's so important in life to get enough rest, to get enough sleep. You've got to do it, guys. You've got to do it. Because if you don't, you will burn out eventually. 1 second. So comments in English, please, if you're commenting on the live stream. So, what happens if you don't get enough? Well, there's a few things that happen. One of the main things I notice is just my willpower has gone down. my ability to have self-discipline, my ability to take action and be disciplined, like do an exercise program regularly, to get focused and schedule and do work. This kind of things has really gotten much weaker. When I don't get enough sleep, when the sleep is really bad, it's like I can't do any of it. I've got no energy, no willpower, no self-discipline for anything. Very, very hard. Like I haven't been exercising probably in about 6 months. I've done almost no exercise, just walking. I mean, walking's okay, but it's not great. I've gained some weight because of all of this. I'm not super fat or anything, but still, it's not great. And just my ability to do work, to focus, it's much harder, like to focus mentally, to have good concentration. When my sleep is bad, very, very, very tough to do that. And again, like not just one night, I can handle 1 night of bad sleep. It's not a big deal. But when it's, 5 nights in a row, 10 nights in a row, 6 months, 12 months, 14 months of bad sleep every night, it really starts to affect you. I think a lot of parents out there have had this experience in the first year or the first couple years of having children. With babies, it's very tough. And with twins, it's harder. It's much harder with twins because, if one's sleeping, the other one will often wake up and cry, and then that one goes to sleep finally, and then the other one will wake up, and it's back and forth. So it's actually, the sleep issue is worse and more challenging, more difficult with twins. I can't imagine the situation. Like some people have 3 babies, triplets or more. Wow. So anyway, if you have babies and you're having to deal with this kind of thing, you just have to deal with it. Soldiers have to deal with this in war. It's quite hard for them. But if you don't have to deal with something like this, I just recommend, that you make the effort to get enough sleep. If you're in an exercise program, be sure that you plan enough rest. This is a problem with a lot of people. They just do too much, and this causes injuries. People, I've talked about friends who have done running before, and then they have knee problems, and they blame running. Running causes knee problems. No, running doesn't cause knee problems. Running too much causes knee problems. Running too hard, too fast, too quickly, too many miles, all those things cause problems, knee problems or other problems. But if you get enough rest, if you balance enough rest with your running, then your knees get stronger, your body gets stronger, it's better. So it's the same thing with lifting weights. If you lift weights too much, then yes, you can cause a lot of injuries. When you balance enough rest with that, then your muscles grow, you get stronger. So it's just always good in anything, and even with English. We've done some of these big challenges, which is great. Some people just doing huge, big number of hours with these challenges, which is great. But if you find you're getting really, really tired with some of those challenges, and if you did or if you do in the future, it's okay to take a break and take a rest day or cut your hours a little bit and just make sure you're getting enough sleep. And even when you're awake, you're getting enough rest, enough relaxation time. We've got to balance that relaxation with the action. All right, we'll get into some comments and questions. Let me think. Do I have any tips? The one thing that has helped me recently is actually I've been taking melatonin, pretty large amounts of melatonin, which is you can get it as a supplement, but it's your body makes melatonin naturally. It helps you get to sleep and relax, and it's not addictive, which is great. It's not like sleeping pills. Don't use sleeping pills. I highly recommend avoid sleeping pills. They're very addictive. If you take a sleeping pill, you think you're helping yourself. Maybe you are for one night. It's okay for one night or something, right? If you just really need sleep one night, taking a sleeping pill or something, it's okay. But do not take them like 2 nights, 3 nights, 4 nights in a row, because they are very addictive. And then what happens is you cannot sleep without the pills. And then what happens next is you need even more pills to sleep. And then you need more, and then you need more. Bad. Don't do it. Melatonin's much better. Melatonin is natural. It's not addictive. And you can take quite large amounts, and it's totally safe. So that's the way to go, in my opinion. If you're wanting a supplement, if you really need help getting to sleep, take a big amount of melatonin. And specifically for melatonin, I recommend slow release or time release. So it's not all just in the beginning of the night. It will gradually release in your body through the night. That has helped me. That's probably the one thing that has helped me a good amount to get a little bit better sleep sometimes when I really need it. And if you have sleep tips, sleep suggestions in the comments, please go ahead and share them. We can discuss them. All right, so that's all I have to say on this topic. Let's just go and see what you all have to say now. Vladislav says, how do you deal with bad sleep because of kids? You can't control anything. Yeah, there's a certain amount you have to just accept. That's right. I mean, babies wake up in the night, and you have to feed them. So, what can you do about that? I mean, really nothing. You feed them and then try to get back to sleep as fast as possible. Our babies are actually pretty good compared to some other babies that we know about. I think the key thing is that when they wake up, keep the room dark. Don't talk to them too much, because see this if they get too much light, like say they wake up, they're hungry, right? Usually because they're hungry. So if when they wake up and they're hungry, if you talk to them, hi, it starts to wake them up even more, right? Usually they wake up, they're kind of half asleep, or maybe they're screaming, right? But they just want milk, and so feed them, but keep the room kind of dark. What I do is I've got a red light, actually, that I use at night. It's because red doesn't white light, when it gets into your eyes, it wakes up your brain, right? It causes a reaction where you really wake up. But if your eyes only get red light, it's a different effect. It doesn't wake you up so much. So it's sleep again. So I use a red light in my room at night. So when the baby wakes up, chicky 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 boo, chicky 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 doo 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 doo. Are we back? Are we back? Are we back? You are back! Hey, woohoo! Maybe you're sleeping. Yeah. Okay, we're back. Great. Okay, so what was I saying? Oh, a red light. I got this little red light. You probably can't see it now. See if you can. Nah, it doesn't show up. Can you see that? No, you can't. Okay, but anyway, I've got this little red light thing, and I use it at night. So when the baby wakes up, I can see to get up and make the food, but it doesn't, the bright lights don't go on. There's no white light. So this makes sure though, after the baby, after he drinks, then he usually goes back to sleep very fast. Like immediately he goes, he's full, and I put him down and he rolls over and he goes back to sleep. And then I try to go back to sleep immediately. This is the thing, the melatonin helps. Without melatonin, I was having problems going back to sleep. This is what was just destroying my energy. It's still a problem. It's still hard. But without the melatonin, I would wake up, feed the baby. Baby would go back to sleep, but then I would still be awake, and I would lie there for, sometimes like a whole hour trying to get back to sleep again. It's terrible. Now, if I take a good amount of melatonin, at least 10 milligrams, usually like 20, I find I can, after the baby goes to sleep, I can go back to sleep more quickly, which it does help some. But anyway, do you think night sleep is much better or any time is acceptable during the day? Asked Katie. I think night sleep is better. I had a night job one time as a security guard for almost like 2 years. And it's not as good. It's harder to, trying to sleep during the day isn't. Hello. Okay, welcome back. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, guys. Weird. Very strange. All right, anyway. Leonardo says, when I cannot sleep, I do not force myself to fall asleep. I just get a little bit. I drink a glass of water. Be patient. Circadian Rhythm says 8 hours sleep, 16 awake. Yeah, that's kind of somewhere in that range is nice. Jamila says, old advice for better sleeping: honey melted in warm milk. Sounds nice. Chamomile tea. Yeah, there's a nice idea. Chamomile tea helps kids and adults sleep, says Habib. Ken says, for the last 3 years until now, every single day when I go to bed, I listen to your mini stories and I sleep well every single day. I listen to your stories 3 times a day. Well, there is something to that in the sense of when you have kind of a routine, like it's the same thing again, it kind of does help your brain kind of go to sleep faster, I think. Yeah, Ilana Khan says deprivation of sleep is a known human torture. Indeed. Makes you crazy after a while. Literally. Alexandre says most effective time for sleeping is from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. at night. Yeah, it's kind of that heart of the night, I think, is when your body really is best, suited for sleep, or it's the best time. Okay, what causes nightmares? I'm not sure. It's a good question. Dreams and nightmares in general. I don't think anyone knows, really. There are theories, people have different ideas, but it's all quite mysterious when you think about it. Sleep is quite a mysterious thing when you really think about it. It's this weird kind of consciousness where during some sleep, it seems we're not conscious at all. Right? At least we don't remember. And then, of course, there are parts where we can remember of dreams, or almost like a half sleep. It's, what is happening with sleep? Mentally, psychologically, spiritually? It's actually, I don't know. I don't think anyone really knows. But we do know if we don't get enough, it will mess us up. We're really going to have problems if we don't get enough. Okay, Namaz says, my suggestion on the Mindvalley website, there's a good video by the name Mastery of Sleep. It's very powerful. Okay, why not? Check it out. When you meditate, you need less sleep. This is true. That's exactly true. When I did the Vipassana course, the 10-day meditation course, it was very interesting because I found I couldn't sleep at night so much because basically all day I was meditating. So my mind was getting rest, so peaceful and calm all during the day. So then at night I would lay down in the bed and I was wide awake. I had energy. I didn't need sleep, I don't think. It's interesting. Mystic says, I'm a single man, but sometimes the fear of failure pushes me to be mad and only work without rest. How should we balance rest? My craving for success, also my fearful fear of failure. Well, you got to let go of the fear of failure. How do you do that? I find that failing is a good way to do it. Just fail. Go ahead and fail, and then you realize it's not so bad. It's not so scary. Right? So many people that are afraid of failing, it's like they don't fail, and they're so afraid of it, they think it's this terrible, terrible thing. And then they actually fail in business or they fail in school, and they realize it's not so bad. I did this in school. I'm kind of almost ashamed to say this because it's kind of sad in a way to me. But all through school, I only got A's and B's, right? Mostly A's. Right through high school, right through university, right into grad school. And never got a C. Not one single C. All the way until grad school. And then finally, I went off to India after my first year of grad school. And something changed, right? I had a big change in my life, and I suddenly felt like, well, this grad school is kind of nonsense. It's kind of bullshit. And my motivation, when I came back to do my second year of grad school, my motivation was very low. I just didn't care. And a lot of the stuff I was learning, I realized was just total nonsense, pointless, lies, etc. And my attitude was terrible, and so I actually got my first C, the first C I'd ever gotten in school. And in grad school, a C is like failing. It's almost like an F. And so it happened, and guess what? So what? No big deal. I just took the class again. It's no big deal. So I tried a business one time, and it failed again. So what? I just went and got a job. I wasn't happy about it, but in the end, I think sometimes people who are afraid to fail, they need to fail. What does bullshit mean? I know I've been saying that a lot because it's just such a nice word in English. Bullshit. Bullshit means nonsense. It's something that is not true or completely wrong. We say that's bullshit. It means that's completely wrong. That's nonsense. That's bullshit. It's actually a little good slang. I quite like that word. Bilal says, having a short walk right before bed helps me get sleepy. Yeah, definitely. I think overall, this is where they balance, right? Like I said, that when I did the meditation course, that I couldn't sleep at night because I was just resting all day. But so actually being very active and exercising, getting some, especially physical activity, some good exercise during the day will often help you then sleep at night. Like you have to earn your sleep, right? Because this is where on the other side, you can sleep too much. You can rest too much. If during your day you're not doing anything and you're just kind of lazy, then sleep can become a problem because you're getting too much rest already. So it's definitely the other side is also necessary. We have to have enough activity too. Yeah, Bertalan says it's best to go to bed at the same time and wake up at the same time. Yeah, that regular type of schedule is also quite good. It's helpful. Taking a nap during the day is effective. Yeah, it helps. It does help especially when you're having bad sleep at night. So it does help to have a nap. Like when I get enough rest, when my sleep is good at night, a nap doesn't seem very necessary or helpful. But when my sleep is really bad at night, then if I can take an hour nap during the day, it does help a lot, actually. Fresh air is also good for sleep, says Jarmila. Good point. Ahmad asked, do you believe that everyone has a biological watch, like a biological clock? Yeah, I mean, it's called the circadian rhythms. There's all these rhythms in our body, and our body's connected to the sun and the moon, the light patterns outside and the weather and the earth and the electrical. It's connected to all of this, right? And so this is why we get jet lag. If you suddenly fly to the other side of the world, you'll have sleep problems, right? Until your body adjusts to the new rhythm. So yes, we do have an internal clock for sure. Biological rhythms, clocks. Is it true when we become older, sleeping time becomes less? Asked Mahdi. I don't know. I haven't noticed it. I've heard this. I've heard that old people don't sleep as much. But I wonder if it's because they're less active, that most of them are less active. I'm not sure. I'm not old enough to know this yet. So I've heard it, but I don't know. Oh yeah, this is horrible what Maiko was talking about. Michael says, I work 2 weeks in the morning and 2 weeks in the afternoon shift. It's very tough for body to adapt to this change. That sucks. I had something kind of like this myself. That is the worst situation where you're doing like 2 weeks on your sleep in the morning and then 2 weeks you're working a completely different. Man, I hope you can find a different job if you can, because that's terrible. I did this when I worked in the emergency room in a hospital, and I would work like the night shift, but just for the weekend, 2 12-hour shifts, and then a couple days off, and then a couple other, two more. It was all different. And then another week I would do the day shift. It's terrible. Your body never can get used to anything. So I hope you can find a better job. My advice is get a different job, because it will destroy your health eventually doing that. Peter Parker says, turn off your screens an hour before bed. Also good advice. And he says, try not to think too much when you're in bed, kind of like meditation. Yeah, you can actually even meditate while you're laying in bed. Right? Or you're laying down and just kind of focus on your breath, for example. Just something simple like that to help clear your mind. It's a good idea. Yeah, Vladislav is this is my theory, my idea. Also, Vladislav says, I think old people sleep badly because they're not active during the day. I think that's true as well, but physically active. They may be mentally active, but I think, a lot of older people, they stop moving their bodies. They stop doing harder exercise. They're not really pushing their bodies enough, and therefore, then they don't sleep as well. That's my theory as well. The other theory, the other part of it is that in general their health goes down and their body produces less melatonin. That also happens, and that can affect their sleep. So sometimes for someone who's older who can't sleep, taking extra melatonin can be helpful. Doing that and then exercising more. Walking in the fresh air becomes sleeping useful. Good comment. Actually, I was just thinking about this. Some of the best sleep I've ever had in my life has been camping. When I've gone camping in the mountains, I always have the most restful sleep. It's interesting. And sometimes, like the first night, I'll wake up several times during the night sleeping. So, go up to the mountains, get my tent, and go to sleep. And the tent's kind of open, so I'm getting all that fresh air. I'm up in the mountains, and usually go to bed kind of early, because in the mountains, there's nothing to do. There's no TV, there's no cell phones, there's nothing, no computer. So after the sun goes down, you eat. If you're alone, there's nothing else to do. Might as well go to sleep. So I find that I would go to bed very early. And then sleep for a while very deeply, then kind of wake up. Often I'd wake up around, midnight or something, and, kind of hear the owls, hoo, hoo, hoo. And then crash, go back to sleep again, and then wake up again during the night, maybe just listen to the wind and little animals or something, and then crash again, and then wake up early in the morning. But wake up in the morning feeling fantastic. Like somehow the sleep was deeper and better being out, out up in the mountains, not in the fresh air. I don't know what it is, but I've had that experience many times, that the quality of the sleep was so much better outdoors. It's very interesting, actually. Does my 100-year-old grandmother sleep well? That's a good question, Vladislav. I'm not sure. I'll have to ask her. I don't know. I never asked her about that. Carol says, sleep is important for babies too. It allows their brain to digest the flow of information. Some parents think their baby should adapt to their pace of life, but things should be the other way. Yep, we just let the babies sleep as long as they want. I wish they would sleep longer, honestly. I'd be happy for them to sleep more. So, definitely important for them. Yes. Beckel says, also I heard 3 hours before sleeping, don't drink coffee or caffeine. For me, it's longer than 3 hours. I would say 7 or 8 hours before sleeping, don't drink caffeine. That's my rule. I don't drink caffeine after, usually I try not to drink caffeine after 5 p.m. 5 p.m. is like my limit. Usually more like 4 p.m. is my limit. And I don't drink coffee after that, because if I drink coffee or caffeine after that, I will often have problems sleeping. So yes, good advice, because caffeine stays in your body like 8 hours, I think it is, for your body to get rid of 1 cup of coffee completely. So generally, yes, that's good advice. Satyam says, I am following BK Siwani for meditation. I'm not familiar with him specifically, but good for you. I highly recommend meditation, so that's great. Cool. See, Mahdi says, my uncle is 98 years old. He's still healthy, still sleeps well. There you go. Ahmad says, there's a nice book called Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. I'll have to check it out. Jeremiah says, when I cannot fall asleep, I start breathing regularly and deeply, and I count slowly. Yeah, that, which is a kind of a meditation technique. It basically is that breath. Anything to focus your mind on the breath is a good one. And then it helps everything else to kind of slow down. Okay, let's see. Amina has the opposite problem. I always feel drowsy. Can you give me advice how to get rid of drowsiness? Well, I guess my first question is, do you get enough sleep, right? Because this is a problem. Like, I have this problem right now. Well, I'm more drowsy, meaning I'm more sleepy, kind of tired all through the day because I'm not getting enough sleep at night. So I'm tired and need more sleep. That's why. So maybe you need better sleep at night and more sleep at night. Now, what I do know is that when even when I'm really exhausted and not enough sleep, if I'm physically active, I'm okay. So if I'm out walking, I'm fine. If I'm doing anything with my body, I'm usually fine. It's when I sit down and I'm still, right? If I'm just sitting around, then I go, I feel tired. It's hard to. So that's the other thing you can do is be physically active, keep moving. Peter Parker says everyone needs a different amount of sleep, depends on your lifestyle, etc. Yeah, that's true. There's not an exact number. You know, some people seem to need about 6 hours. They do really well with 6 hours, and other people need about 9, right? And then something in between for some people. So you just find what works for you. Marty's asking, what are you drinking now? Water. I drink water at night. Only water. Yeah, like Jamila says, I can't drink coffee after 3 p.m. That's about right. Yeah, for me too. 3, 4. I can usually do okay at 4. After 4 p.m., if I drink coffee, I'm in trouble. It'll definitely cause problems with sleep. Now, but you know, everyone's different. My dad is crazy. He'll drink coffee right before bed. Immediately. Like 30 minutes before bed. He's drinking coffee. I think he's just, honestly, I think he's, he drinks so much coffee that it doesn't really affect his body anymore. What does drowsiness means? Asked Leonardo. Drowsiness is a kind of sleepiness, kind of, you know, it's like that feeling of you're awake, but you want to go to sleep. That's drowsiness. It's like almost like you're half awake, half asleep. We call that drowsiness. You could also just say sleepiness. Sleepiness. Same idea. Try pranayama practice for deep sleep. I'll try it. Why not? Have I ever written down my dreams? Carlo asks. I did. I went through a period, I don't know, it was several months where I had a book next to my bed and I would write them down. It does help you to remember them, right? I would wake up and then immediately write it down. The problem is I found it was causing me to sleep. It was hurting my sleep because it would wake me up, right? Because see, normally, if you have a dream and then you kind of wake up after your dream at night, but you're only half awake, and then you fall asleep again, right? But because I would write down the dream, when I was writing it, I would wake up completely. Then I would have a hard time going to sleep again. See, right? So I stopped doing it. And, honestly, I didn't really learn anything from the dreams. They're just kind of weird and crazy. So I just thought, enough of this. I'd rather sleep. Habib says, my theory is if you eat unhealthy food with changing meal times, it affects your sleeping. Yeah, I think you're right. I think food does. I think you're right. Unhealthy food can affect your sleep. Yep. Yeah, Peter Parker says, I meditate an hour every day. I only need 4 hours sleep. I'm perfectly healthy. Yes. As I said, if you the more you meditate, because meditation is quieting your mind, and it's giving you many of the benefits of sleep by meditating. In some ways, it's even better because there are no dreams. So your mind is getting complete, total rest. So yes, meditation can reduce your need for sleep. It's a good point. Okay, a couple more, and then I'm going to go. Well, this is interesting. Kariman says, not only does coffee make you unable to sleep, but any drink that contains vitamin C. I've never heard that before. So you're saying that vitamin C can kind of wake you up. I'm going to research that. That's quite interesting. So if that's true, taking vitamin C in the morning would be better. Oh, Carol has a good point. Reading is a good technique before sleep. You focus on a topic or a story, and you forget about your day. I can't fall asleep without my hour of reading. Yeah. That's also good. Because some of what keeps people awake sometimes is thinking about everything, right? Thinking about the day, thinking about problems. So I think this is why sometimes people watch TV at night, or I think reading is a better idea, like Carol's suggesting. Because it kind of lets you forget about all that, focus on something else, which it's a way of letting your mind start to just relax and let go, so you can take it easy. Don't you like to drink tea? Asked Gilson. I don't like tea. I'm not a tea. I like green tea a bit, but I prefer coffee. Halwa says, I don't believe in meditation. How do you convince me? I'm not going to convince you. Just, you don't have to meditate. But try it. Look, for these kind of things, arguing about them is kind of pointless. I mean, having an opinion about meditation, if you've never done it, is also kind of pointless. So, try it. Find a meditation method. A simple one is breath meditation is a good one to start with because it's just simple. And try it for a while. And, just you figure out and see what it's like. And believe in meditation. I don't even know what that means. What is it you don't believe in? You don't think it's benefit? You don't think it's helpful? Well, maybe for you it's not helpful. Maybe you wouldn't like it. It is hard. It's actually a bit difficult. It requires some concentration, focus. It requires some self-discipline to do meditation. It's it's kind of strange because on one hand, meditation is very peaceful and calming, eventually, but to do it, to start it, I find that the thing with meditation, to start it in the beginning, it requires, self-discipline, mental focus, concentration, some effort to keep your brain focused in on something. It might be a mantra, and it might be the sensations in your body, it might be breath. But, when you first start doing it, when you first do it, either in general, totally beginning, or even just during the day, right? Even if you do meditation a lot, sometimes your mind's busy and you sit down and your mind's very busy, and it's actually, you need some mental energy to start it, to keep your mind focused. Your mind keeps trying to go everywhere, and you got to keep bringing it back. So that requires effort, and that's why it's hard to do. And that's why it's hard to do it every day. That's why it can be challenging. On the other hand, the benefit comes when you do that, and if you keep going, fighting's not the right word, but you keep focused, you keep using that bit of effort, then eventually your mind will quiet, and that concentration becomes very still and calm. And then you feel this deep, deep rest and peacefulness. Eventually. But it takes a while to get there for most people. Definitely for me, it does. I have a busy mind. So it is a weird thing. But when you get to that point finally, then meditation becomes something that's very, very, very restful. It's a bit like food in a way, dieting or exercise or something. Let's say like exercise, that we all know exercise, it helps you long-term eventually, but starting it can be hard, right? If you've been lazy for a while to start exercising, it's painful. It requires a lot of effort. You're sweating. You don't feel good. Even when you exercise, you have a habit of exercising. Some days you just feel tired. Some days it's hard, right? But then we know if we keep doing it, that eventually it will give us more energy, better health, feeling stronger. This is just a common thing in life, right? This battle many times against the short term and the long term. So things that are difficult in the short term are great in the long term. And we have the opposite is also true, as we know, that there are a lot of things that short term feel good, but long term are very bad for us. So anyway, meditation is one of those. I'll usually do the Tony Robbins priming exercise, which helps me calm down. Is that kind of, it's kind of a breath thing. I have to remember what that is exactly. Does type of food affect you before sleeping? I think it's amaras. I think overall I find in my experience is that it's probably best to not eat a few hours before sleeping. It's hard sometimes. Like for me, this is a big challenge for me because I get very hungry at night. Like my appetite in the morning is very low. It's super easy for me not to eat in the morning, and in the daytime I can go a long time without eating. But then at night I get really hungry. But anyway, I find it is better, I think, for sleep to not eat several hours before sleep because then your body is not digesting food. So I think you can rest better. Okay, just a couple more. Does looking at a phone screen affect sleep? Asks Sushant. I believe so. It's the white light from your screen. Causes, I believe it's your body to create, is it serotonin? Or it definitely can create dopamine too. But overall, that white light, like right now I have white light blasting into my eyes for the camera. This is not actually very good for my sleep. to have this white light at night, super bright, because it's telling my brain that it's the middle of the day, right? So ideally at night, you want the lights to get lower, and the color also was important. If you can change the color of the lights to yellow or more red, this also helps. It kind of sends a message to your brain that it's getting late. So there are actually apps on your phone and for your computer that will change the color of the screen. It make it more yellow or make it a little more red, not so white, not so blue. That's supposed to help. And you can set the app so that it'll automatically do it at a certain time. Maybe like 7 at night, the app will change your screen color to make it more yellow or something. So you could try that out. It might be helpful. Oh yeah, that's it. Here it is. HoloWest has the name. Blue Block app. Here's an app that HoloWest is suggesting. Download the Blue Block app. Turn it on at night. Yep. You can probably set it, right? You can probably put a setting and it'll automatically do it every time. So right. It blocks the blue and the white from coming from your screen and makes it more yellowish. All right, I think that's it, guys. Okay, Jamila will get the last word here. You can try vegetables and fruit instead of dinner. It subdues the feeling of hunger. Helps me the best. That's another nice thing. Yes, you can eat kind of light at night. So eat like an early dinner. And then if you do get hungry later, try to keep the food more light so that your body doesn't have to digest heavy food. Like fruit is very easy to digest, right? Your body can use that fruit very quickly and easily. So fruit probably is a very good one if you're hungry later. I'll try that. It's a good suggestion. Thank you. Actually, I'll answer Ahmad's question here too. When you suddenly wake up because the baby's crying, and you can't go back to sleep again, what should you do? Well, this was my problem, so I take melatonin now. I take about 20 milligrams a night, slow release. You can buy it on different websites, melatonin, and slow release melatonin. You want slow release or time release. And I take 20 milligrams a night. This helps me. Now, when I wake up, I go back to sleep quickly, very easily. So that does help. It also helps with jet lag. If you travel a lot and you need help with sleep, again, like a big amount of melatonin like that can be helpful. All right, well, thanks for sharing some of your sleep suggestions. I appreciate it. It's a topic I'm thinking a lot about recently, quite important to me at the moment. So thank you for sharing this with me today. Follow me on Gab, guys. Gab.com. AJ Hogue, Gab.com. AJ Hogue. I am leaving Facebook. Facebook is censoring. They're blocking my posts now. I tried to post something about the stupid virus, just like a joke meme, like a joke picture with joking about how the virus is suddenly finished because of now there's something new in the news and suddenly the virus is not a problem anymore, right? So I tried to post this on Facebook. They blocked it. They won't let people see it. Facebook is blocking and censoring. I'm sick of Facebook. I'm sick of Twitter. So I'm off Twitter. My account's there, but I don't use it anymore. And Facebook, I'm doing the same. My account's there, but I'm basically done. I'm finished with Facebook. You're not going to communicate with me there. I don't do comments on YouTube because it's Google. Same problem. Even with this live stream, some of you might notice some of your comments are automatically being blocked or censored by YouTube if they have certain keywords. I'm not doing that. That's Google doing that to you. I do want to leave YouTube also for live streaming. It's just right now I've tried a couple other places and they don't work very well. I'm constantly looking for other ones to try that are not owned by Silicon Valley companies, that are not controlled by, Antifa Marxist type people. But right now, most of them are in California, and they are controlled by those people. So anyway, using YouTube for now, but eventually we'll leave YouTube also. So Gab is a good place. It's a very good place. That's a good place. That's the only social media I use now, where I will answer questions or where I post anything. Nowhere else. So if you want to connect with me on social media, you have only one choice: Gab.com.